My F18 friend, M19, was raped by a police officer, M30s, he met online. He's too scared to go to the police. How do I help him? We live in the UK. He is gay, but isn't out. He met a guy online who he really fancied. He told him he was a police officer and that he was going to wear his uniform for the first time they have sex. My friend told me about this at the time and I didn't think anything bad from it. He's a virgin and liked men in uniform, so I was supportive of him for exploring his sexuality. The guy he was talking to was older, sure, but age gap relationships are nothing new in this day and age. My friend met him at a hotel. He had planned to go there to lose his virginity and was really excited for all the stuff he was promised over texts. When he met him at the hotel, he was raped there though. He was crying and told me that he kept asking for it to stop, but he wouldn't. He also has bruises around his neck from where he was choked. I told him he needs to go to the police, but he's terrified in case the guy works there. I think it's possible he might be terrified of all police now. I tried asking him if he would go to a different city police station to report it, but he's so scared of running into him there, so he won't do it. Another reason he told me is that he is scared of how people would see him in his family. He told me his parents would hate him if they knew he was gay. I need to help him. How do I do it? I can't just call the police to come to my house when he's over because he's terrified of talking to them. He told me if I went behind his back and called the police, our friendship would be over. I don't want this man to get away with how he's hurt my best friend though. He hasn't been sleeping, eating or looking after himself since the attack. Throughout the day he's randomly breaking down into tears. It's heartbreaking to watch him struggle so much. Please give me advice. It's like if I even bring up anything police related, he panics and wants to get as far away as possible. If I can't get him to go to the police, how else can I help him? Police are trash, but it's entirely possible that your friend's rapist wasn't even a police officer but just some idiot with a uniform he bought online. Do you know the rapist's name? Is it possible for you to call the local police station and confirm whether or not the guy works there? Outside of prosecution, it's important that you encourage your friend to get therapy. That's really the only way to heal from a trauma of the magnitude of sexual assault. Reporting rape can be extremely traumatic to the survivors, and that's just when their rapist wasn't someone who belongs to the people you are reporting them to. So, instead of doing that at the moment, I would urge him to consider getting into therapy. Who specializes in victims of sexual abuse and violence. I understand your desire that you don't want this man to get away with what he did to your friend, and he shouldn't. But your friend needs to get to a point where he feels strong enough to be able to handle it first. I think the UK has an online/phone hotline service for people of sexual violence to use. He might want to start there. Lots of rape survivors do not want to press charges. I'm one of them. Most rapists who are reported never serve time, and the process of pressing charges can be extremely traumatic on its own. Listen to your friend and what he needs and wants and just be there to support him. He has to decide what will be most beneficial for him and his healing going forward. One of the things that makes rape so difficult is that you feel out of control, that your choices don't matter. You can help him by assuring him that his choice matters to you, and he is in control now. He can call the Rape Crisis England helpline at 0808 802 9999. They can direct him to a local centre with professionals that will help him. I know you want justice for him, but you need to back off. He needs mental health care right now, not police. My girlfriend, 32F, told me 27 meters, to get a real job or else she is going to break up with me. For the last 3 days, I have been thinking about the conversation I had with my girlfriend and I don't know what to do. I cannot tell this to my friends or my family because they are not really fond of my girlfriend and I already know what they're going to say and I need objectivity. I should begin with giving a little bit background information on what I do and about myself. After my freshman year of high school, I was sent to live with my grandfather's brother, who had recently diagnosed with stage 5 chronic kidney disease. My uncles were living abroad, my parents were working, and my grandmother was taking care of my grandfather, who was constantly sick and was too emotional to look after my granduncle, and I took the responsibility because he was family and we take care of each other in my family. My granduncle had lost his wife and son in a car accident in 1990s and had been alone ever since, although he used to come to family gatherings. He worked as a crane operator in the Far East and invested nearly all his money in our home country and had a small fortune by the time he died. I stayed in the city he lived in where he and his family used to live, and he refused to move to our city despite our pleas during the rest of my high school years and studied college there. I grew up so much there and I learned so much from him, and he used to describe me to people by saying he is like my son. After college, he urged me to go back to the city my parents lived and start my life there because there were more opportunities there and that he could find a nurse for himself. I was 22 at the time I moved back into the city and into my own place. It's around this time my girlfriend's mandatory service in the East as a doctor neonatologist had ended and she returned back to the city. We were first introduced in a housewarming party of a mutual friend and then run into each other in a coffee shop, and we have been inseparable ever since. I started working as a translator for a TV network, as a freelance writer for foreign news outlets, and I would also give private lessons to elementary school students. One of my uncle is child-free and is against relationships, and he would send me money every month. All in all, I was in a very comfortable place financially. About 1.5 years into our relationship, my granduncle died and I inherited nearly all his wealth, including all his assets and most of his money, except for a small amount he left for the nurse that took care of him after I had left. Later I learned that my uncles and my father advised him to do so because they all trusted me to keep the family comfortable and use the money smartly, and my uncle even told me that I deserved it for being there for him when he needed someone. I invested the money smartly and rented most of the houses. I also kept my job as a translator and a free agent writer, but I stopped working as a private teacher. A friend of mine wanted to move his textile business to a bigger place and offered me to be his partner, which I accepted in a heartbeat because it was a great opportunity. I have been traveling and talking to our clients and making the deals, and that's basically all I do. So I have been working at most 2 to 3 hours a day for the last 2 years, and I have been focusing on improving myself intellectually and physically, and I spend more time with my family and friends. All in all, I make more than 3 times that of my girlfriend. I thought she was happy with my life choices and I thought she got my back. But it turns out she really despises my work life and wants me to get a desk job somewhere other than my firm because that would not be fair. She says I need to be a responsible adult and show our future kids a proper work ethic, and she says I have been immature and a man-child. I tried to reason to her that I was spending more time on myself and I get to do things that I couldn't in the past regarding reading, studying different topics, languages and working out. I had an accident in the past, so I had to stop working out, but now that I have the time I want to do that. When I told her this, she told me that muscles don't make me a man and told me to either man up and find a real job or she is leaving me. I really don't want to find a 9-to-5 desk job. I didn't want to do that even before I got my inheritance. That's why I was working from home as a translator/writer. I don't want to break up with her because I love this woman so much and I look up to her and admire her. I cannot talk this with any of my family members as they all still hold a grudge against her for a thing happened 3 years ago, and my friends are, I sense, not fond of her either. They don't know what she means to me. I don't know what to do anymore. How do I navigate through this? I tried talking to her again, but she straight up told me to give her an answer and she has been giving me the silent treatment. Please help. Your girlfriend sucks. Your life sounds good. You had good fortune and you made smart choices. It's not like the only thing you are doing with your day is sitting on the couch. She's just jealous she has to work and you don't. Do you really want to be with a person that toxically jealous? Do you want her raising your kids? Move on. Live your best life. Edit. Ultimatums and the silent treatment are emotional abuse. Also, I guarantee they are right not to like her for a thing that happened 3 years ago. How would getting a 9 to 5 make you a responsible adult? You're already financially secure, manage several properties, are able to pay your bills on time. Your girlfriend sounds ridiculous. Nothing you wrote here sounds like a man-child. You're an adult. You lead your own life. Honestly, if a desk job is her deciding factor of whether or not she's going to stay with you, I'd be inclined to just let her leave. If you give in to this, what else is she going to pressure you to change about yourself? It doesn't sound like your feelings of adoration are reciprocated here. You have rental properties and are a partner in a textile business that does translations on the side. What exactly does she want you to do? Sit in a cubicle all day getting yelled at by a shitty boss? You have a job, you are managing rental property and part owner of a textile business. Dump her and find a woman that appreciates you for you. It sounds like your friends and family don't like her for a reason. You are asking for advice on the completely unreasonable ultimatum you were given by the person who none of your friends and family likes. Come on, it really sounds like this is an easy one. It will be sad to lose her, at least until your blinders come off and you realize that you have escaped someone who is at the very least, not right for you. Dump her. She sounds jealous. It's not about you. She wants you as unhappy as her. My BF has a Minecraft GF on a server I play on too, and I feel like it's stupid to feel upset. Basically my BF and I play MC together on a server that we have been on since it was first made. When it first opened, we became friends with the people who started on day one with us. People tend to come and go, but there's still a group of us who have been playing on the server often enough to befriend. There's a girl, Chloe, who has basically captured the hearts of all the guys on the server. My BF describes her as super sweet, and he is always talking about the new cool things she's building. They are friends on Discord together as well. Well, basically, how it started, but they started calling each other Minecraft BF and GF even though I play on the server whenever he does. He always asks her to TP and give advice and see what she thinks on our home building plans, and he gives her stuff for free that we could be selling in our shop. I wanted to start selling enchantment books, but he says we can't because she is already selling them. I will spend an hour mining and he will just give her what I've mined because we had excess. I stopped playing to eat dinner and I came back and she was giving him a tour of her newest build and it just has really gotten under my skin. It feels so stupid because she's on the other side of the world and he doesn't talk to her outside of Minecraft. But I feel completely secondhand to this girl sometimes. I left to go to bed the other night and he was still playing and I noticed he was typing a lot, so I asked him if he was talking to Chloe and he said yes, and I half jokingly asked if she was a good replacement for me in Minecraft and he said yay. Then he immediately said I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. And I said it's okay and we went to bed. Then TMW morning he's back at it with the infatuation of her. It sucks, but it's also so stupid of a thing for me to care about. Edit. I would also like to add that we are in our 20s and this is why I feel like it's stupid for me to get upset. We aren't teenagers anymore, and yet I feel like the jealous/dramatic teenage girl right now. Over a video game for Pete's sake. He's also added that he's not going to run away with her or anything when I mentioned him spending a lot of his time with her, and I know he couldn't/wouldn't, so I feel even more silly for letting this get under my skin. Edit 2. Thank you all for all of the really great advice. I feel overwhelmingly validated and a lot better about how I feel now. I haven't responded to every single one of the hundreds of comments, but my upvotes are there and I'll try to work through them. I talked with my BF and told him that it hurt me that he referred to this girl as his Minecraft GF and spent so much time with her. He responded by saying she was the only one on the server who bothered to take the time and come look at our builds. He mentioned some of our other friends on the server and how he used to ask them to come check it out but they would always ignore. I told him that I feel replaced when I leave and he's spending every second with her. He jokingly asked if I would rather have him spend every second with her when I'm still there. Then I gave him a blank "that's not that funny" stare and he took my hand and said he understands what I'm saying and he's sorry. Today he suggested us taking a break from the game to do something together, and he said I will be his only MCGF moving forward. So I suppose it's all worked out. We'll see how it plays out in game. D.